Hi, my name is Jennifer. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do a video reflecting on my 1 year on BookTube. So I was tagged by Gem of Books, thank you Gemma, in the BookTube birthday tag. I'm not going to do that tag only because I don't have answers for some of the questions. But I did want to do a video sort of acknowledging my time on BookTube and sort of reflecting on my favourite things and some of the challenges and plans for the future. So I started my channel in August 2021, so a little over a year ago. This video is slightly delayed, and at that time I had been watching BookTube for about 10 months, so not that long really. I just didn't know BookTube existed for a very long time. So I'd been watching BookTube for a while and sort of thought that I would quite like to give it a go because books are my absolute favourite thing. I just love reading, I love talking about books, I love listening to other people talk about books, and I thought I could do this. And then I mentioned this to my girlfriend one day. I said, you know, this is something I'd like to do, but I don't really have any idea where to start in terms of the techie side of things. And she said, well, I can do that for you. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do it then. And the rest is history. I am thoroughly enjoying being on BookTube. As I said, talking about books is my absolute favourite thing. The best thing about being on BookTube, as pretty much everyone says, is the community, other booktubers and subscribers, and just chatting with people about books. Everyone is so lovely. I've made some really lovely friends via BookTube, and it's just the most wonderful community. In terms of my favourite videos that I've done so far, I think some of my favourite videos were on the Women's Prize this year. So I did first start to follow the Women's Prize last year. That was before I had a channel. So it was really fun this year actually filming my predictions, reactions, my reviews of the books as I read them. And also hearing other people's thoughts on the books as well. So I had a lot of fun with that. Another video I enjoyed was my advent calendar video that I did last year, and I'm probably going to do something similar this year. So I had a book advent calendar comprised of second-hand books, which I'm signed up to a monthly book subscription service. And so all I do to make the calendar is just save a few boxes, don't open them, in the months running up to Christmas, and then number them, and then I've got a 12-day book advent calendar. So I did a video unboxing that last year. I am definitely going to have another book advent calendar this year. There's a box over there with some of the books, which is very exciting. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do it as an unboxing, which is what I did last year, sort of vlog style, or whether I'll just do it as a haul, sort of at the end of December, but we'll see. And then other videos I've enjoyed making in terms of tag videos. Some of my favourite tag videos are the ones which are more sort of discussion tags, which encourage you to reflect on your reading and yourself as a reader. So two that spring to mind would be the Philosophy of Reading tag by Brandon's Bookshelf, and I think it was called the Ratings and Review tag by Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. So those are two of my favourites that spring to mind. I'll link all these down below if I remember. So on to the challenges that I have found since being on BookTube. There's been a couple. The first is that I hadn't realised that subscriber numbers would go down as well as up. So the general trajectory is that subscriber numbers go up, but they can fluctuate. So you can have a little jump and then you'll lose a couple and then it'll go up again. I mean, I'm imagining this doesn't just happen to me, so please let me know. Imagine if I'm the only person who this happens to. That would be rather embarrassing. I can't be. And at first, you know, if I lost a subscriber, it was like, oh, I must have done something wrong. Oh my gosh, what's going on? And now, like, it's fine. Because we've all unsubscribed to channels in the past for whatever reason. It happens. And you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. So I've made my peace with that now, and it doesn't bother me too much nowadays. Another challenge, I think, for me is the fact that I don't have a very good memory, which makes talking about the books that I have read a little bit of a challenge. So in particular with wrap-ups, to start with, I was sort of doing it all at the end of the month, as most people do. But if you ask me to talk about a book that I read 4 weeks ago, I mean, seriously, I would really struggle with that. Even with making notes, you know, and what was happening was that I could look at my notes and I'd have stuff to say, but I still wasn't actually really remembering the book. What I do now, which seems to work better for me, and I hope it's okay for you as a watcher, is that I tend to wrap up the books during the month and then smush them all together at the end, a bit like a vlog type thing. So I normally will read maybe around 3 books before I film a little wrap up of the ones that I've read over the last few days, and that seems to work better for me. So, has being on BookTube influenced my reading? And I would say yes, it has, in a positive way. It makes me more reflective as a reader. So, in part, that's because purely the process of talking about the books that I read and discussing them with other people makes me think about those books more. Whereas previously I probably was finishing a book, immediately move on to the next one, and then the next one and the next one. But with this, I have a bit of time and space to actually talk about the book, and as I'm reading it, I am thinking about things that I might want to comment on, or interesting things, or I guess why I like it or why I don't like it, and what works and doesn't work for me. And that's probably given me a bit more of an understanding of myself as a reader and the things that I like and don't like. I think it's also made me more reflective of my reading habits, reading preferences, and that's come through. It can be things like tag videos, like I mentioned before, and just also hearing other people talk about their reading habits and comparing them to me. So, for example, one discovery I've made is that I seem to DNF a hell of a lot of books compared to maybe the average reader. And I am doing a video on DNFing, which I'll link down below if it's out already. Will it be out by the time you see this? Probably not, but it's coming. So watch out for that one. One thing I would say is that when I started my channel, I was very conscious that I didn't want the channel to lead my reading. I always wanted the reading to lead the channel, and I think that remains the case today. So the books I read are the books that I would be reading whether or not I had a YouTube channel. Not that there's anything wrong with reading books to create certain content. I get that, and I like watching other people's videos when they do those sorts of things. But for me, I feel like if I start to sort of make myself read books for a certain video, it would probably make me not want to pick up that book. BookTube does influence my reading in the sense of I get loads of great recommendations from other people, whether that's other booktubers or subscribers or people who comment on videos. So I do get great recommendations, and I think I am more aware of sort of the big prizes, the Women's Prize, the Booker Prize, and those are prizes that I have followed much more closely in the last couple of years. But saying that, I would be doing that. I don't follow them in order to make content. As I said, I followed the Women's Prize last year, as in 2021, for the first time. That was before I had a channel, so I wasn't making content out of it. So I'm not sort of reading just for content, because I feel like that just wouldn't quite work for me. So on to my future plans for the channel. And in true Jennifer style, I don't really have any plans. I mean, my intention is just to keep making videos as long as I'm enjoying it and as long as someone's watching and hopefully enjoying what I'm making. I honestly love being on BookTube. There's so many lovely people out there, and I just love talking about books. I love reading. It's my absolute favourite thing. So my plan is really just to continue as I am, making videos about what I'm reading. And that's really my only plan. So finally, let's finish with a thank you. So a thank you to the rest of the BookTube community who has been so very welcoming. A thank you to anyone who has subscribed to my channel, who has liked or commented on my videos. It's still kind of amazing to me that anyone is interested in hearing me talk about books, but then I love listening to other people talk about books, so why not? But honestly, thank you so much. I'm so appreciative of you all. And I hope you're all well, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye.